All right, we got our tennis balls. We are going to start in a standing position. So place your tennis ball on the ground and then right away, step one foot on, finding the ball of the foot. We're going to trap the ball under the ball of the foot, heel on the ground, and then just start with that nice little swish side to side. And then once you've got that swish side to side down, let that keep happening, but maybe you don't have to tune in so much to what's going on down at the feet. And we're just going to take a moment to find our a point in our hips so that when we come down to the ground, you know what I'm talking about. So imagine the entry point to your front pockets. So a lot of times I'll say, well, finding a stretch through where the front pockets would be, but here find the entry point to where your front pockets would be. And that little curvy part, right where your front pocket's entrance would be, press your hands into that muscle tissue. And as you swish your foot side to side, you might feel a little bit of movement going on there. And that muscle, that tensor, TFL or tensor fascia lata, I don't know how to say it. I just know it by reading it. So that muscle there, we're going to address that muscle when we come down onto our bellies, but that's the muscle that we'll be looking for, right where the entrance point to your front pockets would be. And if you feel that muscle, go ahead and switch to the other foot. Place that ball underneath the ball of the foot and then trap it, heel on the ground, swish a little side to side. And now you might feel a little movement through that front entry of your pocket on the other side as well. Nice. And then you can hit hands wherever you want them to be. Come back to that original foot and just take those nice big gliding movements, working down the length of the foot, letting your body weight move with you a little bit. Think line of the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe. Nice. One more big roll through the bottom of your foot. And then we're going to trap the ball under the heel. So the big toe and the ball toe mound are on the ground. Ball under the heel, lean in, put a little press and release. Lean in, put a little press and release. Lean in, put a little press and release. And then trap that ball under the heel and just give it a little swish side to side. Nice. And then when you're ready, switch over to the other foot. We're just working the length of the foot. So think working the line of the toes, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, and let your body weight move with you just as much as you like. Awesome. And then when you're ready, trap the ball under your heel, lean in, put a little pressure on, and release. Lean in, put a little pressure on, and release. Lean in, put a little pressure on, and then keep that ball trapped under the heel and just give it a little swish side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side. And then we're going to start to find our way down into a tabletop position. So leave your ball down on the ground. Find your way down in any way that works good for you. And then placing the ball underneath the right hand, palm facing down. We're just going to draw some nice generous circles in one direction. And then draw those circles the other way. Cool. And then right away, pass it over to the other hand. Draw some nice generous circles in one direction. And then draw some circles the other way. Awesome. Now from here, big toes together, walk your knees out a little bit wider. We're going to pull the butt back towards the heels and we're going to bring it back to that first hand, but now palm still facing down. You're going to stack your other hand on top. So you're keeping your weight back in your heels and then you're drawing some slow circles, but you're applying just a little bit more pressure onto the top of the hand with your other hand stacked. Beautiful. And then draw those circles the other way. Nice. And then go up and down. So think line of the hand, drawing the line to the fingers, and then you choose whether or not you want to go all the way to the tips of the fingers. Sometimes that's a little bit wonky. So you just make sure it feels like a good sensation and that you're keeping control so that you're not bending your fingers in some weird way. Awesome. One more roll up and down the length of the hand. And then take it to the webby part of your thumb and index finger, push in just a little bit. And then release, and then we're doing the splits. So index finger, middle finger, do the splits on the ball. And release, middle finger, ring finger, do the splits on the ball. And then release, and then ring finger, pinky finger, do the splits on the ball. And then release. Nice. Now flip your hand, palm facing up. So most of your weight is back into your heel, so you're not putting too much pressure on the top of the hand. And then we're just rolling gently the length of the hand. So think the finger line, working up and down, but just putting as much pressure as feels comfortable to you. Cool. And then from here, we're going to take it into the forearm. So as you roll on out, you're going to let your hand be stacked to just keep that gentle control. And then we're rolling out to the forearm and bringing it back in. Cool. One more roll in and out. And then as you come back in, flip the palm facing down, unstack your hand. We're going to walk out to the center of the forearm and then apply a little pressure. You can stack your forearm or your hand, whatever is going to work good for you. Just a light bit of pressure. And then you're taking your hand and just kind of twirling the fingers, moving your wrist gently in one direction. You might find the floor finds your fingers, so you might have to make little modifications there. And then turn your hand and twirl your fingers the other way. Awesome. And then when you're ready, lift up, release, and we're going to take it to the other side. So palm facing down, and then we're rolling up and down. Cool. One more up and down the length of that hand. And then we're finding the thumb and the index finger, the webby part, lean in, put a little pressure on. And then release, index finger, middle finger, do the splits on the ball. And then release, middle finger, ring finger, do the splits on the ball. And then release, ring finger, pinky finger, do the splits on the ball. And then release. Nice. And now flip palm facing up. Other hand can be stacked if that feels comfortable. And then we're just rolling up and down, working the finger line of the hand. Cool. And then keeping that palm facing down, you're going to take it out to the forearm and pull it back in. And you can choose if your hand is stacked or not stacked. That'll be totally up to you. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you're going to flip. So palm is facing down. You're going to find the center of the forearm and then either stack your other forearm or stack your hand or unstack. That'll be totally up to you. But once you've got a nice gentle pressure, you're just twirling your fingers and moving your wrist gently in one direction. Awesome. And then take that movement and go in the other direction. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, lift on up. We're going to come down onto our belly. So slowly and mindfully start to find your way down. First, we're going to start with the psoas. So we're going to find that hip point and then walk about 2 inches into that soft texture. So find that 2-inch in point, find that little groove, set the ball into place, and then give a second to let everything kind of get cozy around the ball. So let your butt and your low back soften. You can stack your hands and just let your forehead rest there if that feels like a comfortable place to be. And then we just want to let the breath do a little work for us here. So take a nice, big, generous inhale. Nice, slow exhale. One more nice deep breath here. And then if the ball is underneath your right hip point, you're going to bend your right knee and then swish your heel a little side to side. Wonderful. One more little swish side to side. And then we're going to stick with this side, but now we're going to move off the ball just a little bit so you can grab it. And now we're going to try and find that front entry of our pocket. So see if you can find that place where your front entry of your pocket would be. You might choose to prop yourself up on your elbows just a little bit so you can kind of scoot your bum around just a little bit so you can find and feel that muscle. And then I like personally, and you'll just choose whatever variation is going to work good for you. I like to lean into that space just a little bit and then bend my left knee and slide it up so that I get a little bit control with the left knee and the left inner thigh. So once you found a good position with your left leg that feels good, you're just going to think about tilting your hips side to side. So you're finding that pocket entry point and then maybe roll off of it slightly. Nice. If you're rocking side to side, take one more little rock side to side and then find that muscle and then allow the weight of your hips to kind of settle onto that muscle. Soften, relax your jaw, take a nice big breath. Give one more moment here just to see if you can let that muscle just kind of chill out on the ball. And then when you're ready, you're going to prop yourself up onto your elbows so you're not putting too much pressure on to release that left leg. Roll off the ball, and then we're taking it over to the other side. So we're coming back to that psoas. So the muscle that's on the inside of the hip point. So go find your bony hip protrusion, move in about 2 inches, find that soft texture. And then once you've got it, lay your body weight onto the ball, come down as far as you can, and then soften. Soften your butt, soften your back, and then just let your breath do a little work for you here. One more nice deep breath. And then if it feels good to you, you're going to bend the left knee and swish your heel side to side. Cool. And then when you're ready, relax your toe down to the ground. You're going to roll slightly over onto your right hip so you can move that ball. And then again, we're going to take it onto the left side. We're going to find that entry point to your front pocket. So where that little curve of your front pocket would be, where your fingers right enter the pocket, that's the place we're shooting for. If you can find that space, then you might choose to lean over into the left just a little bit to slide the right leg up. That way that right inner thigh and knee can help put as much pressure on as feels appropriate for you. And then once you've found it, if it feels good, you're going to just give that little rock of the hips side to side. Great. One more little rock side to side if you're rocking. And then if you like, find the center of that muscle. Let your body weight rest on it. Soften your glutes, soften your jaw. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift up just a little bit so you can slide that right leg in, roll over onto your hip, take that ball out from underneath you. And now we're going to move over to the right again. But this time we're going to find the center of the thigh. So you're going to place it into that center meaty part of your thigh, finding that little groove. And then once you've found it, give a second. Let your thigh muscle relax. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Beautiful. And then if it feels good to do so here, you're going to bend and straighten the leg. Awesome. One more bend and straighten of the leg. And then the next time your toe touches down to the ground, you're going to lean off that ball. We're going to pick the ball up and place it back behind the thigh. And then you're going to try and trap that ball underneath your thigh, between your calf and your thigh. And then once you've got it trapped, just a tiny little movement of your heel side to side. Lovely. One more little move of that heel side to side. and then reach back, grab that ball. We're going to take it over to the other side. So you're going to lift off, place that ball underneath the left thigh, the middle of the thigh, find that groove. And then once you found it, just try to find a little softness in the thigh muscle. Cool. And then once you found a little softness, bend and straighten the leg, but only if that feels good. Beautiful. One more bend and straighten of that leg. And then the next time the toe touches down, lean off, grab the ball. We're going to place the ball behind the calf, in between the calf and the thigh. Once you've got it there, find that little hug and squeeze. So we want to engage the hamstring muscles, and then swish your heel just a little bit side to side. So it's not a big range of motion, and this is actually just a little bit more strengthening than anything, but we want to keep that ball hugged in so that the hamstring is activated. Beautiful. One more little swish side to side, and then lean off, grab that ball, and we're going to spin it around so that we're onto our butt. So spin yourself around, and then we're going to come right back to the back of the thigh, place the ball underneath the back of the thigh, and then you're going to use your left leg and your hands to just lift you up to a point that you can glide up and down that ball. Awesome. One more glide up and down. And then set your butt down, let your thigh get nice and heavy on the ball, and then just swish your toe a little side to side. Beautiful. One more swish of that toe side to side, and then we're going to lift off and switch to the other leg. So place it underneath the left thigh, bend your right leg, put as much pressure onto the foot in your hands as you like. So you just find that little lift off, and then we're gliding up and down. Wonderful. One more glide up and down, and back to the middle of that thigh. Set your butt down, and then just swish your toe side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side, and then pick that ball up. We're going to keep the right leg bent, and now we're going to work down the IT band. So use your ball like it's a little doorknob. You're going to push into the side. So you're going to let your hand be on the inner thigh to create a little bit of counterbalance. You're going to push into the ball, and then like you're turning a doorknob, you're going to turn in one direction and then turn the other way. And then we're just going to move up and down the side of the thigh. So you go any place that you like that feels good. We're just finding that twisting and turning maneuver. It might trap your clothes a little bit. That's cool. What we'd really shoot for is if you did this in your own practice at home and you had bare skin, then you can let it catch the skin a little bit and move that connective tissue as well. Nice. Take one more time up and down. And then we're going to take it to the inside. So keeping that knee bent, we're going to find this little groove right to the inside of the shin bone. So walk your fingers in, find that little groove. And then once you've found it, place the ball in there. Your other hand will be your counter. And then you're just going to push in and draw tiny little circles. So let your palm do the work. It might be intense. So you go only as much pressure as feels right to you. Hold on tight with your other hand. Draw your gentle circles in one direction. Awesome. And then draw your circles the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, and we're going to take it to the other side. So bend your left knee. Now we're taking the ball to the outside of the thigh. So the right hand comes to that inner thigh just to create that little counterpoint. And then we're taking that ball like a doorknob, turning it in one direction, and then turning it the other way and just moving up and down the side of that thigh with as much pressure on as feels right to you. Nicely done. Take one more time up and down. And then we're going to move up to the inside of the shin. So find your shin bone, walk your hands to the inside, find that little groove. Your fingers should be able to dig into that space. Once you found it, place the ball there, put a little pressure on. So your left hand is going to provide that little counter pressure. And then as you press in, draw some circles with your palm in one direction. Nice. And then draw those circles, go the other way. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release. Now we're going to take it into a figure four, but you might choose to leave figure four off. If you like, take your right leg across your left and then lean over onto that left hip. Place the ball underneath your right glute. Soften around that ball for a second. And then if it feels good to do so, you're going to slide the left leg in. Use your hands, use your left foot to prop you up. And then we're going to draw some nice big circles around that ball. If you find any hot spots, any places that are super tender, stay off of them, maybe work alongside of them, around them, but don't sit on them so that you're just in pain the whole time. Find a spot, move around it, soften, and then move on to some new locations. Take one more big circle around and then set your butt down as best you can so that you can slide your left leg long. And then we're going to step the right foot off, but keep a bent knee position so the ball is still underneath your glute muscles. And then we're just going to take a little flap of that right knee. So we're just going to lift it up a little bit and then lower it down. Nice. One more up and down. And then we're going to take it all over to the other side. So lift off, take that ball, move it to the other side, find your figure four, place the ball underneath your glute. And then if it feels comfortable to do so, you're going to slide that right leg in, push into your palms and your foot, lift off, and then circle around. Same thing on this side. If you find any spots that are super tender, don't sit on them, move around them, and then move on to a new location. Beautiful. One more little circle around in whatever direction is working good for you. And then when you're ready, set your butt down, send your right leg long, slip your foot off so you still have that bent knee position, and then just make sure the ball feels like it's good under your glutes. And then we're just going to lift that knee and lower it down. Awesome. One more up and down with the knee. And then lean off that ball. And then we're going to find our way down to the ground. So we're going to take that ball and place it in that little groove of the shoulder blade. So start with the right side. Find that groove between the spine and the shoulder blade. And then once you've found it, take a second to just let your arms come out at a T. Let your shoulders and your chest get nice and heavy. Take a nice deep breath. Cool. And then we're just going to keep that ball right where it is. And we're going to take the right arm and like you're drawing a big circle with a hula hoop. So rather than just out to the side, we're going to swing that arm across the body, over the head, and then circle it around. And then just take two more circles in this direction. Nice. And then circle in the other direction, but we're sweeping across the midline of the body. Beautiful. And then we're going to move up the ball. So you might choose to just push into your feet, glide up the ball so you get that deep tissue massage, or you might choose to just move it manually, whatever works good for you. Once you found it, let your arms come back out at that T, let your shoulders soften, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to take those circles again. So we're going to big circle across the midline of the body, circle around. Nice. And then take those circles and go the other way. Awesome. And then one more time, we're going to glide up the ball. So we're going to move up towards the top of the shoulder. You can either push into your feet and glide up the ball to get that deep tissue massage, or you might choose to move it manually. That's totally up to you. Once you've found the top of the shoulder, then you're just going to let your arms come out at a T. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then circle the arm, going across the midline of the body. Nice. And then reverse directions, go the other way. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that ball from the right side, taking it over to the left. So we're moving back down to that low part of the shoulder between the shoulder blade and the spine. Find that little groove. Let your arm come out at a T. Take a second, find your breath. And then we're drawing those big circles. So we're circling across the midline of the body, circling around in one direction. And then circle the other way. Cool. And then when you're ready, you're either going to move the ball up manually or lift your butt up and glide up the ball, whichever version gets you there and feels good. And then once you found your way there, arms come out at a T, take a breath. And then we're circling that arm, circling it across the midline of the body. Nice. And then reverse directions, go the other way. Awesome. And then when you're ready, gliding up one last time. So either move the ball up manually or glide up the ball, coming up towards the tops of the shoulders now. Once you found your way there, give a second, let the muscles soften, take a breath. Nice. And then take that arm, circle it in one direction. Awesome. And then take that arm, circle it the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, you're going to release that ball from underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to take it back over to the right side, but this time underneath the skull. So we're going to place that ball right off to the right side underneath the ridge of the skull. So we want to be on that skull bone. Your right hand can hold that ball in position. And then just with your head slightly turned to the right, find a gentle nod of your head up and down. One more nod of your head up and down. And then lift your head up, pass that ball over to the other side. So underneath the left side of the skull, on the skull bone, head turns slightly to the left, and your left hand is going to help support the ball. And then once you've got all of that in a good placement, nod your head up and down. One more nod of the head up and down. And then lift your head up, release the ball from underneath your head. Let your head come back down to the ground without the ball underneath, and just take a couple little turns of your head side to side, just to notice how your head and neck feel. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, in your own way, at your own pace, we're going to find our way up to a seated position. So maybe Sukhasana for my yoga friends, crisscross applesauce for my teacher friends, any way you like to sit in a comfortable seated position. And then we're going to place the ball in our palm, lean in just a little bit, find that jawline. So think from the chin to the ear. And we're just going to put a little pressure on. You can turn your head or you can move your hand, whatever gets you there. And we're just moving that ball up and down the jawline. One more time up and down here. And then we're going to take that ball, sticking with this side, but now you're going to find that little groove right underneath your collarbone, and you're going to put a little bit of a pressure on. Grab hold of the other elbow and think about pulling the elbow in as you push, and then see if you can just soften your shoulders. Take a nice big breath. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release, and we're going to take it over to the other side. So place the ball into your palm, and then either moving your hand or moving your face, you're just going to move up and down from the chin to where your jaw meets the ear. And take one more time up and down. This might be my favorite one. I could stay here for days. And then when you're ready, take your ball. You're going to find that little groove right underneath the collarbone. Put a little pressure on, reach across, grab your elbow, and then pull the elbow in. Once you've got a nice bit of pressure there, soften your shoulders and take a nice big breath. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release, set that ball down, give your shoulders a little shrug. Notice how everything feels. Maybe even wiggle your head around, make a couple little figure eights, make sure everything is feeling good. You guys are amazing. Nice work today.